Basket's cut out of one solid piece of wood. This is basically what I start with. I have a pattern that's put on the piece of wood. I have the handle, which I had previously cut, and now I'm going to cut the spiral. There's about 15 or 16 different steps in making the basket, and the spiral is the single biggest step. And there's 2 or 3 steps before this, and then there's a number of steps afterwards that all go into making the basket, all its components and parts and finishing and so forth. Now, depending on the size of the basket, this is about 12 inches wide. This is one of the larger ones that I make. The 7-inch is the smallest size. That's a stack of them right over there. They can be cut a little bit faster, and they don't use anywhere near as much wood, which is why they're a lot less expensive. You get up here into the 12-inch size, the extra large ones, these are the most expensive. And it depends on the cost of the wood. This is walnut, which is a moderately expensive wood, but I have a number of other woods that I've used in making the extra large baskets and that are a lot more expensive. So some of the large baskets will go from around $60 or $70 up to $120 to $100, maybe $140. And 12 inches is generally the largest size that I make, but that's only because I have a 13-inch planer. When I buy the wood from a wood dealer, it usually comes in what's called 4/4, which is about 1 inch thick, and that has to be planed by me to a little bit thinner size, and when it comes from the dealer, it's rough. It's rough cut. It's right off the sawmill. So I have to plane both the top and the bottom to get that smooth surface. So I usually plane it down to about 13/16, maybe sometimes 3/4, and that takes a considerable amount of time, but it makes the wood much thinner and easier to work with. But that's just one step that I didn't even count in the other number of steps in making the baskets, because sometimes I get the basket, I get the wood already planed. Now, I wear a hearing protector when I'm running the saw, save my hearing, and the noise that you hear in the background is my dust collector. And this pipe sucks the dust out of the saw, although it doesn't get all of it. It will take a good bit of the dust away. Now you can see the table's put at a slight angle. I've taken the handle, put that aside, turn on the saw, and now I'm going to start cutting. I use the magnifier to also illuminate the area, to give you a better view. After I've cut the pattern, I turn off the saw. Then I'm going to back the basket out of the saw. When the pattern's all cut, pick it up, you can see it starts to actually function as a basket. There's still a number of steps that have to be done. I have to remove this pattern, and I take about the last 4 or 5 inches and I glue this back together to act as the anchor. Then the basket has to be sanded on the sides, top and bottom. Has to be finished. I use Danish oil. I actually set up a bath where the entire basket is dipped into the bath. After it's soaked, I take it out of the bath, put it on a rack to drip dry, and then I wipe it with lint-free cloths to remove as much of the excess oil as possible. And it has to dry for 24 to 48 hours. So that's the basics in making the baskets.